Hi, we're Doug and Sharon.
And we've been traveling on our motorcycles for 9 months.
And here are some of our adventures.
So we are in Algeciras. We picked up our camping gear, which we left while we went into Morocco because we didn't need it. But also picked up two new tires because they're tough to order. But I'm not quite ready for them, so now we got to figure out where to put them on the bikes, and it's getting awkward. Sharon came up with a rather unique idea.
Ship them ahead. Don't carry them on the bike. So we made our way through Spain, and we are traveling along the southern coast here, getting to enjoy the sights here again, and just hoping for warm weather.
So there used to be a car parked in there, and it seems that in order to weasel their way out, they decided to knock our bikes over.
Really cool architecture here in this area, which was developed in an old riverbed because they rerouted the river in this city.
Bell Park was also worked on by Antoni Gaudi, who is of the Sagrera family notoriety, also in Barcelona. And you could really see the working of nature, blending that in with the surroundings. These houses reminded us of the little gingerbread houses, with all their details.
Dr. Seuss houses.
Dr. Seuss too.
So here you can kind of see the comparisons in architecture style between the church and the parks.
Imitating trees. Alright, so what happens if you don't replace filters, Doug?
They stop running eventually, but it's a good idea.
I'm glad he knows how to take apart the right areas. There's my old one. Looks like bugs in there.
Yeah. It's a little dirty too, so good time for a change.
We continue to see evidence of the Moorish buildings from when the Crusades were happening, back and forth between all the Christian and Muslim raids. And we made it to France.
I love the single string garbage can base there.
And I love the renewable energy of the bike sleeve.
Hi! So we left Barcelona this morning, and we're working our way towards Carcassonne, France, which, to my way of thinking, the only reason we're going there is because there's a game by that name.
It's a really nice city.
But apparently there's other things to see there too. And we're moving on.
They named the game after.
Shower in the dark, with a 5 foot of clearance with a handheld wand. It's a little awkward.
I don't have the same problems I've had, so I'm feeling actually very tall in here. Sometimes bathing has to get creative.
You what? No hot water heater, so we made it ourselves. Memorable time in Cologne.
Good chocolate.
Very good chocolate. Germany also gets another one.
Spain beside their colony of Peru.
Somebody's got to be first on the new side. Morocco, you get to be it. The France flag in Nice on the bike. Try to do it straight and no bubbles.
The boats along Nice harbor here were very beautiful and colorful. There weren't just these colorful boats, but also some very large yachts.
All the boats, nice big boats, and inside the boat you can carry and tuck the bikes nice and close together so they don't take much space and hopefully are nice and secure. And there's our Airbnb up there.
So we got up to Carrara, Italy, where it's famous for its marble mine, and I wanted to fly the drone out over the mines. But the drone immediately decided to land itself in the trees.
Well, look what I found in the bush. Through a bunch of prickly vines. We found it.
So instead I took a drive up the mountain, up the switchbacks, and I found myself in the middle of the marble mines, and just astounded with the surfaces and the amount of exposed marble, and had a little bit of fun driving the roads as well.
This was a Sunday, so the mines were closed and it was very quiet for Doug to explore.
So up at the marble quarry, they just used big old chunks of marble to make the guardrails. There's the quarry below.
And there were just all sorts of other offshoots where there were other mines too. I could have explored there for days, and was amazed that it was just so open access, which was quite fun. But Sharon was still waiting back for me back in town, so I forced myself to go back and make sure that we moved on with our day. Dark tunnels.
Is that marble or no?
No. But there were offshoot caves where they had marbles that I also wanted to explore, but resisted. There's maps that show all the other areas.
And then I went to the Carrara Cathedral, where there was more Carrara marble everywhere in Carrara.
From there we got back on the road and headed down the highways towards Rome, and just enjoyed the mountain scenery all through Italy.
So these tires have got a little bit of history. They were purchased in Algeciras when we were in Morocco, but I had them too early, so I had them shipped to us in Rome, to a campground that we're at now.
So here we are at Little Skull Cycle in Rome, and they let me use the lift and help me get my tires changed and my oil changed. One bike down, and now we're going to see if we can get Sharon's and do that at some point. Little Skull Moto helping us out in Rome, and they get a place on the pannier. Thank you guys. You're great. These are Sharon's tires with more than 22,000 kilometers on them. They're the Dunlop Trailmax Mission, and they've done really well for her while I've gone through like 2 pairs of tires in the meantime. So now I decided to try the same thing, so I got a new set of the same, and we'll see where we go.
Doing, Sharon?
You know, digging through garbage in Rome.
Why?
Because you had your wallet stolen. You think it might be here.
My wallet was stolen. My AirTag says it's somewhere around here. Ugh.
Well, after that I started tracking my AirTag on my wallet, and it kept showing up all over Rome, continually, even to this day.
We were fortunate enough to be in Rome for our 25th wedding anniversary, so we decided to try and go back to the same spots, make sure they were still there. Spoiler alert, they were still all there. Great city to roam and discover new things.
Yeah, there were a lot of new spots there too that we saw. We decided it was still too cold to where we were, and it was time to head further south. So we headed towards the Amalfi Coast, did some loops around there.
About to leave, already packing. Come with me, I'm not really asking. We'll get away to a place where we don't know. About to see the world in action, what we can be, like with no distractions. We'll get away. This is what
we were amazed at how quiet the Amalfi Coast was. The roads are normally much busier with buses and tourists. Lots was closed, but we'll take that with the open roads.
I'm done living life with the lights out, down with my own doubts.
This is Paestrum, which is actually a Greek ruin in the south of Italy, and again, access to sites was amazing.
No people. Few people, since it was a quiet time of year.
Not looking back, eyes on the freeway, Bonnie and Clyde, a classic cliche. We're on the run, this is what we waited for. Oh yeah, take my hand, we'll make it somehow. We can't miss out.
More mountains.
I'm done living life with the lights out, die with my own doubts. Be free with me. Be free. Be free with me. Be free. Be free with me. Yeah, let's go. Be free.
This was the sleepy little town. Again, very quiet, but off-season meant good pricing for hanging out for a while.
Helped us recover from all the highways that we'd been riding for the last little while.
Yeah. Be free. Be free. Be free with me.
While we were there, we took a bit of a side trip loop, kind of explore more inland, and happened to find some curvy roads along the way.
It just happened.
So, what happened?
We just pushed a bunch of buttons, and I don't know, we got through.
You got
Seriously, it was about that sketchy.
to get onto the ferry to go to Sicily.
Yep. We're on the ferry, and we already see Sicily, so I don't know if it was worth getting off with your bikes. End of my story. It was a short ferry ride, and it was very sketchy as to whether we had gotten the tickets and trying to get there on time. So that was a little stressful. As we drove through Sicily, we noticed a lot of garbage along the side of the roads, which honestly was a little disappointing.
We have an incredible road structure, though, and that loops around the entire island.
Sharon's calling into her yoga classes remotely from Sicily.
Making remote work.
So we're doing a little roadside stop here to shake out the butt muscles. For the last 2.5 hours, we've been counting the tunnels we've been through. How many tunnels have we been through, Sharon? 60 tunnels in the last 2.5 hours. And a lot of them were like 2-3 kilometers long.
Like going for a time warp through a, what do they call this? Wormhole?
There's a prime kiteboarding spot that has very shallow water and
protected from the Mediterranean waves and all that sort of stuff. Very popular, and we're in February, and there's probably 20 or 30 kites up in the air, and I'm giving it a shot today as well. See if I can manage to master this a little bit more.
A new place, a new home for a while. Let me feel alive. Nothing to hold me back. Take my time, just enjoy the ride. A new man passing by. Life is good, best I've ever felt. Get me up, somewhere new, somewhere I can find myself. Oh, I feel so alive.
See how shallow the water is there? You did that just so we could see that, right?
Absolutely.
These salt flats were incredible. Old windmills. They still mine the salt from these flats.
In the dark against it all, but made it through the day. 'Cause I found my way. I found my way. In bad times, I know I'll be okay. 'Cause I found my way.
There were also flamingos nesting, but I got a little too excited on my approach, so we never captured them.
'Cause I found my way, my way, my way, my way, my way. 'Cause I found my way, my way, my way, my way, my way.
These are the Turkish steps, where pirates would come in and land and get up and raid, and I guess primarily because it was Arabic countries or Turkish countries, that's why they got the name the Turkish steps.
I know I'll be okay, 'cause I found my way.
See a lot of these World War II bunkers along the shorelines.
Agrigento was another Roman Greek site that we saw in Sicily. We did a loop out of here from where we stayed and decided to do a day trip to Mount Etna, and oh boy, we were not really planning on this elevation. Good thing our tires are rated for snow.
Yes, that made a huge difference.
I was nervous.
But we needed to get to the top, and when we got to the top, this is what we saw.
We didn't see much of Mount Etna, and it was like minus something. It was cold. Traveling through the south of Italy, we headed towards Bari and the area over there. There were these cute little houses in Aberello called Trulli houses, and they were all built with stacked rocks so that they could be disassembled for tax purposes. Walking through the town. And this is our Airbnb. It was a great stay and really neat to actually experience one that had been used.
So we had our bikes parked nice and tight, and we come back and somebody has kind of blocked us in. So it's going to be a little bit of a squeeze to get out, or we won't be catching our ferry to Albania tonight.
Hopefully we saved lots of time and get some panniers off. Pannier one off. Pannier two off. Back on. Fortunately, this car came, so we won't have to take Doug's panniers off. Grazie. He's like pushing the other one.
Ferry to Albania, where bikes are tied down and in, and we get to go to sleep here, and 10 hours from now we'll be in Albania.
This is our route. But hey, do us a favor, like and subscribe and help the YouTube algorithm find more viewers. Thanks.